Hey, it's your boy, Sergeant Hooked on Heroes, coming in with another brand spanking new review for Kamen Rider not Kamen Rider Gates, my god, for Ohsama Sentai King-Ohger episode 10. Holy shit. This episode was absolutely amazing, and we'll get into the details in just a few minutes, but wow. I really enjoy how, like I've been saying a lot, Dom Brothers did a lot of things to kind of like break down Sentai tropes, right? And do things really different, really unique, and be unique for the sake of being unique. But it was nice because it made things feel less stale and made it feel like it was actually going in a direction where they're trying to think outside the box. That hasn't stopped with King-Ohger. It may not be as zany and like weird for weird's sake, oddity's sake, if you will, but it's a really strong season, and it's really impressive how good it is, how good it's been so far. But anyway, let's just jump right into it. So, interestingly enough, I did forget last week that Gira did get captured in Gokon. So Morphonia was there when all the Legend King-Ohger stuff was happening, blah, blah, blah. And she sees him, she gets her ass beat too, along with Rita and the rest of the kings. And Gira gets captured by Death and Rock. So that's where it sets up this episode. So we're in Shibana. Most of the kings are there except for Gira. And the retainers are there too. And they're trying to heal everybody as best they can, blah, blah, blah. And Yama's getting pissed because he's like, well, Himena, your country's the leading, edge, the bleeding technology, state of the art type, bleeding edge medical, medicine, what's going on. She's like, well, everybody here pretty much, even including us, were strangled by giant tentacles from a monster. I don't know really what you're hoping for. He's like, he asks about his retainer. He says, was he going to wake up? He's like, well, he could, or maybe he won't. Maybe he might pass away, or maybe he'll never wake up from the coma. I don't know. And it's not enough for him. He gets pissed and angry. And I kind of like seeing this raw emotion from them, because like here and there you kind of got that they like care about their retainers, and they do care about their people, but like the retainers are kind of just like cannon fodder for them. But I really feel like in this episode we see how much the retainers mean to them. And I think mainly because the retainers learned a lot from Gira in last episode. So they're contacted by Rockley's then. And Rockley's basically says, hey, so if you guys give up all your royal authority and bow down to me, I will, help you guys out. You're like, are you kidding me? And Dabowski instantly is like, fuck that. Get the politics out of here. It's not the time for that. And that's big coming from him, being a very masterful, deceitful, manipulative, behind-the-scenes player, if you will. For Dabowski to say that is a pretty big thing to happen, I thought, anyway. I thought it was pretty interesting. So they end up refusing, basically. But he says that, well, I don't know what you guys are going to do. I mean, you're not even united right now. You're arguing with each other. How do you expect to be united enough to stop, what happened here? Or, what's happening. And before this, we do get, if I remember right, a little bit of a flashback of Gira while he's being captured at Death and Rock's palace place, whatever. Playing with the kids or whatever, and basically bringing out this whole thing about Legend King-Ohger. And the only reason it was able to be reformed was because the kings came together and they united, together under one threat, even though they didn't always see eye to eye. They united together as a team to destroy, to stop this threat. And it's like, just foreshadowing for what we're getting right now. So Rockley's leaves them on the message, and they're just like, what the fuck? Everybody leaves basically, with the retainers. And we get these really nice little vignettes with each of the retainers utilizing what they learned from Gira, that, it's one thing, there's a fine line between being loyal and being submissive. Being submissive in the way that you're just going along with everything your king's saying, and loyal in the way where you're listening to them, you're following their orders, but you're able to, in a healthy way, question them and contradict them in certain times to challenge them and make them a better leader. And we get little shades of that throughout all the little vignettes. First off is Himena with Sebastian, who tells her, she's like, I won't lose you, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, you're not going to. He's like, and don't worry about that so much. He's like, what you're really worried. He's like, no, if I keep you safe, you're one of my favorite things. If I keep you safe, then I'm being selfish. He goes, well, sure. But I think what you're really scared of is people getting hurt and losing people. And that's going to happen sometimes. But we still have to move forward. We still have to be a leader and be a king and do the right thing. We get to Nakospa with Yama and his second in command. He basically tells him, I know you're still healing and stuff, but I need you to do some work, blah, 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 and he stops him. He's like, what are we really doing here? He's like, what are you talking about? He's like, no, I mean, what are we really doing here? And he kind of goes back and forth with Yama really well. And in a really pretty deep conversation. It gets down to the point where he says to him, yeah, duh, you're our king, but number one, you're our Yanma. Like, you're always trying to be the top, and right now you're not trying to do that. You're trying to give up and concede to Rockley's, of all things. Like, don't do that for the sake of us. Like, fight back. Be the Yama we know you are. And I think that was, again, a really cool thing back and forth with him. Then we get Dabowski with his little retainer. And it's a really interesting scene because he basically tells Dabowski to continue being this, kind of manipulative, deceitful, looking at all the angles type person. That's what he's always done. That's what he always will do. That's what he needs to be right now. Basically, don't sacrifice who you are as a person and what we know you to be as our leader just because of this threat. If anything, we need that more than ever. And I think that's, again, really, really strong here, that they're all stressing to their, respective kings, don't give up yourself because the world looks like it might be ending. That's the time when we need you to stay strong in yourself, to have strength and have faith in yourself, to be steadfast and be who you are, because that's what we need as a leader. And we get it in a really emotional moment again with Rita and Morphonia. Morphonia is spying on Rita and sees her in the one room with the Mofun plushie, talking, Rita, blah, 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 giving him a voice and stuff. So she uses a little lockpicking kit and she breaks her way in. And she ends up, like, I guess maybe Rita could see her, I don't know, and basically, like, moves Mofun and talks for him as if it's, really Mofun being alive or something. And basically has a conversation where she's like, why do you think you have to do this all by yourself? And Rita says something along the lines of, well, that's not really what it is. I don't think I have to do it by myself, but how can I be impartial? How can I be this judge that you know me to be if I request help from people? He's like, well, really, it's the end of the world. Is it really that scary to ask for help? It doesn't get rid of who you are as a leader just because you're seeking out help to fulfill justice, to exact justice, if you will. I thought that was really good. Again, they're all really good little vignettes. We move on from there to Gira with Deathnarak. A couple different scenes with him back and forth talking about stuff and how he's not going to give up his friends, blah, blah, blah. And he just seems really interested in Gira. And I have a theory that I kind of share with Zio Agito and a few other people I've seen. It's just kind of my feelings on things with this. But, so he eventually, Gira talks too much shit. And so he throws him into the Quarry of Destiny, where all the fights happen. And talking about how there's cocoons in all the kingdoms, and that they got rid of the one, and even Rockley said this, he got rid of the one, but you can't take care of all of them at the same time, even with King-Ohger. And that's when Himena had noticed, or had mentioned at the beginning of the episode, well, if we had Legend King-Ohger, maybe that could be. And Yama instantly was like, that's a fairy tale, give it up, like, it's not real, blah, blah, blah. As he transforms through basically a magic sword, into a, like, blue dragonfly superhero and pilots a giant robot. Like, calm down, bro. But I do like the voice of reason that he is. So, again, it makes sense. He's the straight man. So, anyway, Gira and Deathnarak are still going back and forth. Deathnarak knocks him down into the, like, gorge, into the, place there, the quarry. And the other kings show up. And they start helping him out. They say, hey, we're here to help you, blah, blah, blah. You're just as much a king as the rest of us. He says, well, I'm not a king. He's like, well, I don't know. And they mention each little things about him that they know, and that it to them signifies to them that he solidifies it to them that he is a king just as much as anyone else. And so they all transform together. We get our first full team henshin together, Team Ogai Buso. We get some really nice duo attacks with Hachi-Ohger and Kamakiri-Ohger, with Tombo-Ohger and Papillon-Ohger, and also with Gira near the end, using the Kugato wings, which I thought was interesting because it almost looks like it's trying to, like, be a callback to the intro where it shows him with, like, the mandibles, the little, like, after image of the mandibles, and everyone else has a little Shoe God piece to them as well. I hope it honestly fits into them all getting Shoe God power-ups, maybe. I think that'd be really cool. The more they deepen their connection with their respective Shoe God, the more they get power based off them or something. I just think it'd be really interesting. But they kick Deathnarak's ass. And he's able to get pushed back. And it looks like he gets destroyed, but he's not. He just always leaves in a big explosive lava explosion thing. So they all, for some reason, untransform. I don't know why they did that. And Yama's like, yeah, this is where our plan ends. I don't really know what we're doing now. And Gira's like, well, we have to bring them all together. We have to be fully united. And if you guys stand behind me, I think we can do it. And they end up doing it. They end up showing that they support him and that they all support each other and, being on this team. And he even says, together we are Ohsama Sentai. It's time for your advent, Legend King-Ohger. They raise their swords together. We get the full Legend King-Ohger, Gatai sequence. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful. This is probably one of my favorite mecha in a long, long time. And one of my favorite mecha Gatai sequences in a long, long time. Just a fantastic sequence with all the Shu Gods coming together and the greater Shu Gods. Seeing it form fully for the first time, in show, is really cool. And it's cool because it has this heightened light speed ability where it goes to it's simultaneously appearing around the world, gathering all the monsters and bringing them onto one spot, and then uses the final attack together. And it's really, really cool. And what's cool is we're seeing all the King-Ohgers pilot their respective part of the robo instead of Gira just by himself. So again, it's really cool to see. But they're successful. They're able to gather them all together and destroy them. And an after image, like I said, of Legend King-Ohger is left behind each of the kingdoms. So they can see, oh my god, it was formed. Of course, Rockley's comes in like a dickhead and takes credit for that happening. And that was him that did it, basically. Knowing that his people are brain dead enough to listen to him for some reason. One moment. So anyway... So, the Kings go their separate ways again, but they are still now a team, fully trust each other and all that. And, next episode is showing, that I have a plan now to, at Gira's funeral, reveal him to the world that he's alive, thereby showing that Rockley's is a, attempted murderer, a liar, blah, blah, blah. Just catch them by surprise. Well, it's also the debut of our 6th Ranger, Jeremy Brassieri. Who we find out at the end of this episode has been the narrator all along. So I really hope it continues, honestly, with him being narrator still, even though he's in the show. But it's really interesting. It's the Kumo Spider thing, right? This assassin-y type character with the blade, the Kumo Slayer and everything. I'm hoping that what I'm getting the vibe of here is that the way he differentiates from the rest of the team is that he is an assassin, essentially. A hired assassin type thing. Really interesting. So, overall, fantastic episode. Great character work, great stunt work, great fight choreography. The team attacks were amazing. Having the little duo attacks together was really good, and they complemented each other really well. Legend King-Ohger, fully formed and fighting, was badass as hell. And this is my favorite episode of the series so far. I'm sure it's going to get blown out of the water eventually, but this is my favorite episode. It was perfect. Banger. 10 out of 10 in my opinion. But let me know in the comments below what you guys thought of the episode. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Were you in the middle? What were your favorite character or retainer moments? As far as content, Comrade Geeks episode 34 review pretty soon. Be getting that put together. Also going to work on some more Toku Toy views and just other content for the channel. I kind of want to change it up, do some stuff about Star Wars and Marvel stuff, something coming up soon with that, maybe some Digimon stuff, I haven't fully decided. If you didn't notice, I got my new little poster there from the Wave 2 of the High Republic books. High Republic is Star Wars set way before the prequels, basically. They're currently in Wave 2 of that, which went 150 years before the first wave. And that's a poster from one of the books. I just thought it looked really cool next to my custom lightsaber. So, but yeah, so thank you guys so much for liking, sharing, for watching, subscribing, commenting, all that good stuff. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for the love on the recent Deathstream Henshin video. I'm really excited about that. I think that turned out pretty well. I was pretty proud of myself with the editing on that. And you guys seem to really like it. So thank you guys. You can check that out on Twitter. I put it out there. And then also on my TikTok. Plan on putting it out on YouTube eventually, but I just haven't had a chance yet. But until next time, stay hooked on heroes. I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.